Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, Engaging Small Businesses in Procurement. Thank you for spending some time with us today. We're glad you're here. At the close of today's presentation, you'll be asked to complete a very brief questionnaire. Your feedback is very valuable to us here at NASPO. Today's presentation is good for one UPPCC contact hour. To get your certificate, simply complete the questionnaire following the presentation. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to explain the format of today's webinar. All attendees are muted. You can enter comments and questions in the chat box. If you would like to ask our presenters a question, you can type it into the Q&A box at the bottom of your window. Our speakers will address questions near the end of the presentation. Today, we are honored to have with us Ms. Danetta Jackson and Ms. Telisha Jackson. Danetta Jackson is the Business Outreach Program Manager for the California Department of General Services within the Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Services. She assists small and diverse businesses with certification and successful navigation of the state's procurement process. Danetta is responsible for ensuring that at least 25% of the state's $8 to $10 billion in contracting opportunities go to small and diverse businesses. Telisha Jackson is a small business outreach specialist for the Georgia Department of Administrative Services. She interacts with small businesses and advocates on their behalf with government contracting officers, contract specialists, and end users. Her passion for small business success inspires her to create, develop, and implement programs that help increase businesses' core capabilities and capacities so that small business owners can successfully participate in the procurement process and achieve their government contract goals. NASPO is grateful to have both of you with us. And now I'll turn it over to you, Danetta and Telisha.
Thank you so much, Chadwick, for the introduction.
Yes, absolutely. It's such an honor to be here, Chadwick. And thank you, NASPO, for having us on your platform to talk to you about my passion, and I'm sure it's Danetta's as well. So let's get to it. Danetta, are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. We're here to talk to you a little about each of our state's programs and just give you a high-level overview of what we're doing and what could possibly benefit you in your state. So in our next slide, I'm going to tell you a little about the Georgia Department of Administrative Services. There are 5 programs under the DOAS umbrella. There's risk management, surplus, fleet, HRA, and SPD, which is the state purchasing division. That's where I work. There in SPD, we help to establish policies and procedures for monitoring and assessing guidelines that all state entities meet, state requirements, legislations, policies, and guidelines. We provide technical assistance to state entities, technical assistance to negotiate statewide contracts, procurement training, oversee purchasing card programs, provide and manage electronic procurement and sourcing platforms such as our TGM marketplace, which I'm excited to talk to you a little about later. And this is also where resources for small businesses are readily available. So how do you identify as a small business in the state of Georgia to best learn how to bid on state contracts and their opportunities? First, as a small business, you must be a business that is independently owned and operated with either fewer than 300 employees or less than $30 million in gross receipts per year. As a Georgia resident business, you can be any business that regularly maintains a place from which business is physically conducted in Georgia for at least 1 year prior to any bid or proposal to the state, or a new business that is housed in Georgia and regularly maintains a place, such as a physical location conducting business in Georgia. However, you just have to make sure that that place is not one that includes anything like a post office box, a private leased mailbox, a site trailer, or any temporary structure. And then a Georgia resident small business is just a combination of both definitions and meeting the criteria for both resident business and small business. All right, so now that we've identified Georgia and what's a small business and where do they go for opportunities, Danetta, share with us in California, where do we find your small business opportunities?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first of all, the state of California is the 5th largest economy in the world. We purchase nearly everything you can imagine. In fiscal year 1920, we spent $12 billion, which was the highest spend in over a decade. 463 million went to small businesses and 2.8 billion went to disabled veteran business enterprises. As a small business in California, it is defined as a business that is independently owned and operated, domiciled in California with gross annual receipts of 15 million or less and 100 or fewer employees. California also has a small business for public works certification. The business gross annual receipts must be 36 million or less with 200 or fewer employees. For a business to qualify for disabled veteran business enterprise, also known as DVB certification, veterans must have a 10% service-connected disability. Principal office must be located in California, and the disabled veterans who own and manage the firm must be domiciled in California. Now, these certification programs are primarily intended to increase business opportunities and level the playing field for California small and disabled veteran businesses when competing against larger companies. Telisha, I understand Georgia has a disadvantaged business enterprise program that mirrors our California Department of Transportation DBE program. Can you share a little bit about that program?
Absolutely. Yes, so Danetta, just like you in the state of California, we do partner with our Department of Transportation. And there we bring the minority business and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications to our small business community or to our business community. The minority business enterprise is a collaborative effort between the Georgia Department of Administrative Services and the Georgia Department of Transportation. We provide a joint process for the minority certification. Then companies are stored and marked as certified minority in our CRM system, and they're made available and accessible to anyone who uses our Georgia Procurement Registry as a search tool for local governments or other organizations. We'll talk a little more about our GPR or our Georgia Procurement Registry a little later. For now, the state of Georgia recognizes the 5 economic minority groups, of course: African American, Asian American, Hispanic Latino, Native American, and Pacific Islander. As of the first quarter of this year, there have been over 300 minority business enterprise certifications that we've processed through our office and our agency. Now, disadvantaged business enterprise certifications, those are owners whose personal net worth may not exceed $1.32 million to qualify as economically disadvantaged. So those come in tandem together. Once you received your DBE through the GDOT, you automatically receive your MBE as well. So a lot of small businesses really can appreciate that administrative burden of receiving 2 in 1. And so as we continue to talk about the billions, that's billions with a B, of the dollars that both of our states spend or oversee in goods and services, we also want to talk about our small business initiatives. To support our governor's call to be the #1 state for small business, we strongly encourage buyers to reach out to small businesses. How do we do that? We passionately demonstrate to our state and local governments how there's a flexibility in small business participation. specifically with the elimination of that administrative burden that I just spoke of a little earlier. Therefore, small businesses can be best utilized for purchases under the $25,000 bidding threshold. Now we continue to drive home our goals by how? Cleaning up our data through the review and verification of small business status on our statewide contracts. We improve data collection and sharing through continued discussions with our Department of Revenue and Department of Labor in order to assist in identifying small business spend and accurate reporting for measuring success, and by increasing our supplier outreach. Now, the increase for the number of small businesses registered with DOAS, that is our goal by 20% over the next 4 years. We're definitely on our way to that. In addition to that, one of our #1 goals is to increase the state's spend with small businesses over the next 4 years as well. So we've increased our supplier outreach, expanded our supplier resources and training through the development of online programs and tutorials. Additionally, we continue to make the bidding process easier through the implementation of policy and process changes. That helps to increase small business opportunities, and it minimizes the burdensome of the forms and requirements. Now, in addition to the goals, some of our tasks in order to help us continue achieving our goals is just through the opportunities that we continue to put forth through our statewide contracts. Again, as I mentioned, increase in small business outreach, increase in our training and resources, and simplification of understanding the entire procurement process. We want to do that by encouraging a state agency to commit to create opportunities through agency purchases, such as our P card and other purchases from our buyers of our colleges, universities, technical colleges, and universities. Also, we work with other state agencies and resource partners to help connect small business suppliers in Georgia that can produce goods, services, and supplies to local government. Some of the completed work on several of our statewide contracts have been tractors, mowers, telehealth, telemedicine, and of course, with all of the extra things that have been going on throughout the year with COVID and the pandemic, we've also completed work with COVID-19 disinfecting services, virtual card payment solutions, ATV, golf carts, equipment, natural gas, mobile and wireless communications, construction service, and a plethora of others just to name a few. So Danetta, tell us about some of your contract goals in California and share with us.
Sure, Telisha. The state of California has a minimum of 25% contracting goal with certified California businesses and 3% with disabled veteran business enterprises. We consider these goals as the floor and not the ceiling, as many state departments are far exceeding 30% contracting with small businesses. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic, along with other emergencies, caused the state to fall a little short this past fiscal year, meeting 23.7% small business participation. The state, however, has met its DVB goal the last 12 years. The small business DVB option is a streamlined procurement process that has provided a steady increase in contracting opportunities for small business and DVBEs. It is the fastest and least expensive procurement process in comparison to other competitive methods. The cost reduction benefits at different stages of the contract process when using the option can amount to 90 days in time savings and include no advertising, a minimum of 2 bids are required, potential one-day contract award, no protest, and it is flexible, convenient, and can easily be adopted by any state or public agency. We continue to drive a top-down campaign to encourage state departments and agencies to adopt the option as an internal first policy. In fiscal year 1920, the state awarded over 8,000 SB option contracts totaling $297 million and over 1,300 DVB Option contracts totaling $31.5 million. So it is our goal to continuously increase these numbers. Other initiatives that's going on at the governor's office in April of 2020, our governor launched a task force to tackle business and job recovery. An input was received from a diverse group of more than 100 leaders from business, unions, academia, philanthropy, and advocates for racial and economic justice, and legislative leaders. Amongst the initiatives impacting small businesses, task force members spearheaded the California Rebuilding Fund. And this is a new public-private partnership to increase access to capital and support to the smallest businesses in underbanked communities across California. Task force members also prioritized inequitable recovery, focusing on strengthening diverse and California-based suppliers through a new initiative that just launched this year, Source Diverse, Source Local. This public-private collaboration will strengthen inclusive procurement and build resilient California-based supply chains by elevating California firms for sourcing strategies. The initiative is designed to support local economies. So with that, now let's talk a little bit about how businesses can get started with Georgia or the state of California.
Well, I can tell you that with Georgia, businesses seeking to potentially do business with the state of Georgia must first complete their profile in TGM or Team Georgia Marketplace. This is the first step to doing business with the state of Georgia. Now here, they'll receive news and announcements, important notices, user registration options, bidding opportunities, and notifications. One progress to date includes a small business logo for statewide contract holders in our Team Georgia Marketplace. The companies will receive notifications based on NIGP codes when registering in Team Georgia Marketplace. They will use that research or that feature to search and research for information on contract status, contract administrator, and suppliers, and other things such as past bids and awards. So you can see the new small business icon here on the dashboard. A source for all state public bid opportunities where small businesses may view open and awarded solicitations is through our Georgia Procurement Registry, or affectionately known as our GPR. Modernize the platform is what we've done for enhanced security needs and the local government customers. That means that we've given it a little color and added a little refreshness to it. We've redesigned it to enhance user experience with improved navigation and enhanced search capabilities. It's even accessible now via your smartphone or tablet. So immediate access to all of our bids are open for bidding with countdown of time remaining. The ability for state and local buyers and prime contractors to search for registered small businesses, Georgia resident, small business, or even certified minority vendors and through NIGP codes is also available. You can search for open, awarded, under evaluation, closed, or other solicitations. Local entities are not required to follow the DOAS's policies and procedures for posting guidelines, competitive solicitations, or protest procedures. However, one may search several government entities such as state government, municipalities, governments, county governments, or the public school districts K through 12. There's no bidding required for solicitations that are less than $25,000, but solicitations that are $25,000 or equal to, they do require a bidding process in Georgia. So these bids are conveniently posted. They're accessible in our GPR or our Georgia Procurement Registry.
All right, so now I'll talk a little bit about our system, which is known as Cal eProcure. It is California's government marketplace that has recently been redesigned to promote easy access to bidder supplier accounts, certification profiles, and state procurement information and bidding opportunities. Cal eProcure, as Telisha mentioned about their GPR, has enhanced navigation and new features for an improved user experience, and it is also mobile friendly. It also features a work center where vendors can manage their account, certification, and bid activity. In order to promote governmental transparency by making state contract and procurement information readily available to the public, we created these procurement dashboards to help departments, suppliers, and the public easily identify potential procurement opportunities. The dashboards are broken down into 6 different data sets to include, as you can see, department spend, UNSPSC spend, which means United Nations Standard Products Services Codes, leverage procurement agreement spend, and this involves our statewide contracts, our master service agreements, and our top 10 department spend, top 10 UNSPSC spend, and SBDVBE spend comparison. Now, these dashboards are a great tool to help prioritize outreach efforts and identify where the gaps are, specifically when comparing small business DVBE spend with large companies, and also provide small business the information needed to market to specific state departments. Now we're going to go ahead and segue into outreach and talk about our outreach efforts.
Absolutely. So outreach and training in Georgia goes a little like this. It's continued virtual delivery of all supplier training and outreach events with approximately 3,500 suppliers engaged through more than 60 supplier outreach and training events year to date. That's what's been happening in our neck of the woods since within the last year. Now, to support the governor's call again to be the #1 state for small business, the new programming was created for a virtual symposium. Our first symposium, our inaugural one, was held back in February of 2020. Well, due to the social distancing guidelines and those that are brought about due to the COVID-19 pandemic and quarantine, we were able to create a new programming to offer a virtual symposium in November of 2020. So Governor Brian Kemp, I apologize, addressed the audience via video, and even our Deputy Commissioner, Lisa Eason, encouraged 440 plus small businesses to attend and compete in statewide contracts and featured winners as special guest speakers. We're very excited. Next, we launched the Georgia DOAS Small Business Procurement Readiness Workshop Series in collaboration with our educational partner, UGA Small Business Development Center Minority Business Division. Now, the workshop intertwined the state procurement process with essential small business development training on how to increase small business core capability and capacity. Featuring small business development partners, industry experts, and state and local government procurement staff, the workshop leveraged subject matter experts or SMEs to provide essential information in an efficient and affordable way. This workshop was distinguished from our other closely similar webinar trainings that may have just allowed a one-way communication for the presenter to the virtual audience. Each module included the use of breakout sessions, which provided an additional means of interactivity and small group collaboration that reinforced the learning objectives and enhanced networking opportunities on a virtual platform. So it was 7 sessions, and it kicked off with a selection of small business representatives through predetermined criteria in order to maximize the participation. The workshop concluded with 3 business participants who reported new contract awards and success stories. Our DOAS surplus and SBA 8A firms, they collaborated or they were able to collaborate with the Georgia SBA office to help those 8AA firms obtain surplus property from around the country at a reduced service charge. They exceeded the goals of increasing small business participation in the US SBA 8A program by 20%. The surplus property was able to see the implementation of new pathways to help veteran-focused and veteran-owned organizations to become eligible for surplus property. The redesign of the surplus property website was another one that took place in our outreach and training efforts. It included new surplus property videos for web page launch and veteran-owned small business and veteran service organizations. And last but not least was our Georgia DOAS Procurement Connect informational sessions. These were live, virtual, and panel discussions with subject matter experts, again, discussing topics relevant to our supplier community as a whole. The sessions featured DOAS programs such as supplier debriefing, that process, the DBE MBE certification process, the surplus property, and other bid opportunities. It also featured representatives from other state and local governments and other small business partners. Now, these sessions are continuously offered quarterly, with our next one coming up in June for a local government use of our GPR. These sessions also feature DOAS programs, plus representatives from other state and local governments, small business partners, and others to help suppliers get connected. And before we go, I want to talk to you a little about our resources and partners that we offer to our supplier community, but specifically our small businesses. Resources and partners that offer consulting offices that help Georgia businesses identify, compete for, and win government contracts through teaching, mentoring, and coaching. These services are available at no cost, large or small, and to businesses that possess the interest and potential to perform work as a prime contractor or a subcontractor. Now, I've named just a few that we've worked with in conjunction with closely within the last year, but there are definitely others that we have also partnered with. So the Small Business Development Center, which is the UGA Small SBDC, as it is affectionately known, Georgia Tech Procurement Assistance Center, known as GTPAC, GDOT, which is the Georgia Department of Transportation that we spoke of earlier, that we partner with for our DBE and MBE certifications, and then the University System of Georgia, the USG system. So Danetta, please tell us more about your small business outreach and training and what you guys are doing.
Sure. And thank you for sharing your outreach efforts. California has similar outreach strategies, similar to Georgia's. We provide training and educational workshops, certification assistance with navigating the state's procurement process, matching suppliers with procurement opportunities, access to state resources, and more. Currently, we offer 3 levels of training webinars for new businesses, those with very little contracting experience, and those with more advanced experience. We also house on our website on-demand, short, less than 5 minutes, how-to tutorial videos. In addition, all resources are available in Spanish to create more access for a wider range of California businesses. The graphic in the slide is a snapshot of the outreach that was conducted prior to and during the pandemic from July of 2019 through June of 2020. As you can see, we participated in a mix of in-person and virtual events. In order to integrate supplier diversity into all aspects of government contracting, we focus on building collaborative partnerships with community organizations at the local, city, county, and private levels. DGS has strategic partnerships with community organizations and ethnic chambers throughout the state. I believe this past fiscal year, we partnered with nearly 95 different strategic partners. The objective of our strategic partnership program is to support our program's mission by aligning with organizations around the state of California that have similar goals and provide an opportunity to reach potential suppliers from underrepresented groups and underserved geographic locations. This year, I'm pleased to share that we formed 12 new partnerships with minority African American organizations. Additionally, the state of California wants small businesses and disabled veteran business enterprises to succeed outside of just contracting with the state. DGS has 71 reciprocity partners who honor the state's small business and or disabled veteran business enterprise certification for their respective programs. And many of these partners include local governments, municipalities, transit districts, school districts, and utility companies. Reciprocity partnership allows local business owners to pursue contract opportunities as a preferred bidder with the government entity and the state of California without applying for multiple certifications. And this increases visibility and contract opportunities for businesses. MS Bookings is fairly new. It's a Microsoft Office product like Outlook, Teams, Word, Excel that facilitates booking appointments between our office and the small business community. Businesses can access our MS Bookings webpage and book an appointment at will by looking at a calendar of available appointment times. And this is a very easy tool to implement within any program. Calendly is another booking tool you may consider that offers a free option. The types of appointments we offer are what's listed on the screen. We also allow businesses to book appointments for general assistance as needed by emailing our dedicated email at businessaoutreach@dgs.ca.gov. Every state department that spends $100,000 or more has a dedicated small business advocate who is responsible for assisting small businesses with contracting information and also payment issues they may be experiencing. We also have an advocate steering committee that plans and facilitates quarterly advocate information sharing workshops to assist advocates with best practices to increase contracting participation with small businesses and DVBEs. When departments don't meet the mandated 25% small business goal and or the 3% DVB goal, we require that they complete a plan of improvement. This provides departments with the opportunity to assess their procurement activities and provide an explanation and lay out strategies to improve their performance. In an effort to broaden our support for advocates and buyers statewide, we have implemented an annual refresh webinar to assist department buyers and advocates with tools and best practices by providing them with resources to support the inclusion of SBs and DVBs in state procurement. And our first refresh session will be held this coming July, and we will provide them with information on how to use Calendly Procure, how to search for small businesses, how to access advocate resources, information on how they can create a small business DVB first policy within their department, and much more. We also recognize the work and accomplishments of hundreds of state procurement employees and more than 200 departments, agencies, boards, and commissions to support the state's goal to spend 25% of its contract dollars with California certified small businesses and 3% with disabled veteran business enterprises. The state agency recognition awards is an opportunity for us to honor state agencies and individuals every year for their outstanding achievements in state contracting, their dedication, innovation, and commitment. The ceremony is usually held in person each year, but due to the pandemic, we were tasked with innovating this year. So this year, we produced a video that I'm very proud of. The link to the video is provided in the presentation, and I encourage you to look at it when you have the opportunity. California also has a small business advisory council that partners with us in the development of solutions to the state's procurement and contracting concerns. And it also provides a forum for interactive discussions. The council is chaired by our Chief Procurement Officer, Angela Shell, and co-chaired by a representative from the small business community. The administrative duties of the council are managed through my office. We also have a disabled veteran business enterprise advisory council that is facilitated by the California Department of Veterans Affairs to include other responsibilities in support of the DVB program through an interagency agreement with us. In addition, my team and I serve on other advisory boards, public agency consortiums, and task forces to collaborate with other entities with the common goal of increasing opportunities for small and diverse businesses. So with that, Telisha, what other outreach strategies has Georgia implemented?
Well, just to name a few, we have implemented an increase in our media and online supplier outreach through our co-hosting and multiple guest appearances on some of our partner relationships and resources, such as Business Radio X, the SBDC Small Business Fuel podcast that is hosted by the UGA Small Business Development Center at Georgia State University. We have been featured as a guest on 2 appearances with the Atlanta Small Business Network out of Atlanta and the television show. And these are broader platforms allow small businesses to share their success stories as they are guests as well directly and feature the work of our agency and whatever we do within the small business community. So our own commissioner, Judge Alex Atwood, has helped in this outreach effort by actually participating himself in appearances and interviews. Furthermore, we continue to expand our reach by serving as panelists, most recently a panelist member for a Facebook Live event for Women's History Month featuring women business owners. And another avenue taken to meet our small business goals is through communications and website engagement. A new small business web page was launched in late 2020 of last year, maintaining over 50% engagement rate. And you can see from the screen that we have areas of focus that include our bids and contracts, our MBE certification, information and resources to our small businesses, regarding small business symposiums and any outreach events that we may have, as well as additional and monthly training that we have for all of our suppliers. SBD has also reached out in their communication efforts by putting out 6 different email campaigns. These are regularly used to engage with our customers, state procurement staff, local government, P-card administrators, suppliers, and small businesses. So each communication campaign has a specific audience and a planned schedule for its release. SBD communications team, they work with SBD, our state purchasing division, our IT staff, and others to collect content for distribution to our customers. So this content also highlights some of our success stories from our small businesses within our business community. And this has us keeping up with the industry average of about 35 to 43% engagement. So tell us a little about California.
Absolutely. We utilize a communication management plan to promote the successful delivery of outgoing communications to inform stakeholders of important information. And included in that plan is the use of social media platforms, of course, to target a new generation of diverse businesses to include Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We recently launched our own dedicated LinkedIn site where events, contracting opportunities, and other essential information is shared to help connect businesses with our program. So this is our LinkedIn page. Please follow us to stay connected. We also provide a platform for businesses to share their success in state contracting via our website by partnering with our public affairs office to create videos spotlighting diverse small businesses. And we use these video campaigns to reach underrepresented communities. In addition, it provides a marketing resource and credibility for the business owner. Our most recent campaign, we just launched a few months ago and is spotlighting a minority women-owned business who thrived during the COVID-19 pandemic. The business received its first emergency contract with the state and continues to thrive. So I provided the link to the video and I encourage you to watch it when you have the opportunity. In addition, we have various resources to help small businesses get started and be successful in state contracting on our website. Now, what's on the horizon? Several exciting things. The COVID-19 pandemic, we all know, has presented a significant challenge, particularly to small businesses. And Census current population survey found that minority-owned businesses are disproportionately impacted. The number of active businesses owned by African Americans dropped by 41%, Latinx by 32%, Asians by 25%, and immigrants by 36%. And to help identify supplier diversity strategies moving forward, we developed a mapping tool to assess small business and DVB certification and outreach programs efficacy and the state procurement opportunities in disadvantaged communities throughout California. So we are excited. This will be launching July of this year. And the mapping tool is basically an overlay of our SBDVBE locations, procurement frequency and dollars on the disadvantaged communities Cal Enviro screen. And Cal Enviro screen uses a combination of environmental, health, and socioeconomic information to assess a community at disadvantage and is being used by many policy and decision makers around the state. So we are extremely excited to have this tool available that will help guide our outreach practices in the future. In addition, we are working on an emergency registry that is specific to certified small businesses and DVBEs. And the registry will be a portal designed to allow state buyers to easily connect with small businesses and DVB suppliers for rapid response in the wake of an emergency. The ultimate goal is to increase our small business and DVB participation in procurements during emergencies. So state buyers will be able to easily and quickly find suppliers and have access to emergency specific contact information. And I believe that is the end of our presentation.